I think the one of the most weirdest thing that happened with me at a birthday was it was a first birthday for a child,
So this is
and
They got a videographer for their first birthday.
and they had a Mujra person over there, something like that.
This is a Pakistani family.
It was a Fiji Indian family. They had that.
So that was
Fiji Indian
entertainment.
people are
This isn't even the worst part. So like think about belly dancing,
Yeah.
but Indian version. Think about it that way,
Okay.
right?
And this was at a 1-year-old's birthday.
It's at a 1-year-old's birthday, and the worst part is that that person is doing the performance, and the dad of the baby, he steps up on stage and just starts getting like super physical. I'm like, what's going on right
So-
now?
does he need an introduction?
I do.
Every guest needs an introduction, bro.
Some people like. Do you know his biggest work, bro?
His biggest work? No, I don't.
Do you guys know his biggest work?
Nah,
No.
bro, let us know.
He did a music video on the song called Ya Ali.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Do you want to elaborate on your openness magnum?
Look, what is this?
Did you
Nah,
expect?
nah,
This
I
is what you should have expected. He was hinting at he was gonna ask stupid questions like this. If
This
it's
is
too
from his
awkward,
fans. This
man.
is from his fans.
Nah,
if it's too awkward to answer, I can move on quickly, bro.
Let's just stop there. Let's just stop there.
Anyway, let's move
Yeah.
on. Welcome back to the Trash Talk Experience. This is your boy Abob here with my buddy Trey and son. We have a special guest in the building, Taha, brother. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
You don't have to be so low voice, by the way.
Oh,
You
do
can
I?
speak up,
Oh,
bro.
can
You
I?
have a
Okay.
big chest, bro. Speak
yeah.
from your chest, bro.
Let's do it. Yeah. Nah. Thanks for having me, guys. I've been well.
What do you think? Rate our setup as a videographer yourself. What do you make of it?
Honest review. We don't want to hear that, bro.
Bit of lacking with lights, to be honest. I think you can invest on lights.
I think the light will show too many of the deformities we have on our face,
Yeah,
so we
well,
kind of keep it low
But
as
you gotta
possible,
keep
bro.
it real, man. You gotta keep it real how it is in
And
the
this
world.
is real, but just hard to see.
Hard to see.
Nah, because like these lights, right? They cast quite a bit of shadows on your faces.
Mhm.
Having like bigger lights, which is called key lighting in the technology. That just avoids the whole shadow perspective. So the way it works is that you have two key lights in front,
Mhm.
at 45 degrees from the cameras, and then you have a backlight that just highlights everyone's outline on it. That's how like lighting works for like a very standard setup.
How
guys
do you
can-
know this stuff? Like, have you done any formal training for this?
Nah,
or-
just YouTube experience training.
You see,
Not
anyone
training,
can
but
learn,
just
brother.
See, I think
YouTube mostly.
you must be
yeah.
interested in this thing.
Yeah. Like
Ask me
Nah,
about battle
nah.
boats, bro.
So where did this passion come from? Like, it's
So,
good to have it, but where did it start?
so I was doing, so when I was in Pakistan, I was doing photography. I was doing landscape photography, and then I moved to Australia. I had no experience with video. I had like no interest in doing video as well.
Mhm.
But when I moved to Australia, this is gonna sound a bit sappy and sad, but I just keep on
Go
track.
on.
But let's just discuss this. So when I came to Australia, I started watching a lot of YouTube videos, just like random YouTubers, things like that. And at that moment in my life, like I just didn't know anyone, right? Because it's a big change coming from a different country. You don't know anyone. Pretty much you're alone. I was with my family, but
How
in
old were
terms
you
of,
back?
I was 17.
17.
So I was like, in terms of my social gatherings and all that, I was pretty much alone. So I started watching a lot of YouTube and just like start connecting with those YouTubers, and
Yeah.
that way I started my own YouTube channel. I was like, okay, let's do that. And in some ways it was good therapy because I was talking to the camera consistently. I was telling it what I was doing, how my day went, things
Mm.
like that. So it was good
Can
in
you still
that
see
sense.
this stuff?
What's that?
Can you still see this stuff?
Yeah. I'll send
It's
you guys
not on
the link.
private, right?
No, it's not on private. It's still there. Yeah. It's not like therapy where I'm like talking like
It's like a vlog.
it's not. It's a vlog. Yeah. It's a vlog. It's a
Yeah.
proper vlog.
Yeah.
But when it's a vlog, you tell the camera what you're doing, right?
So it's
Oh,
first
so what's
person
the-
rather than you looking at the camera then.
It's so the way I started making my vlogs was that I wanted to show a story out of it. So I would use the Hollywood approach where you're using like different angles and all of that stuff.
Mm.
Instead of like just holding the camera like that, I would go out there, place the camera, then walk over there, change the camera, then walk. So it will give you like two different angles. It was worth the edit at the end. So
Because son always has these ideas like, oh, we can do this,
Yeah.
we can do this. When it comes time to actually recording things, then he's like, bro, this is taking too much brain capacity.
it took me a lot of
Yeah.
challenge to overcome that feeling as
Yeah.
well, but like eventually I did it, and then gradually I started like diving deep into videography as a
Mhm.
whole, like just learning how cameras work and all of that stuff. Because I didn't know how, because the way videography works is very different to the way photography works.
Yeah.
So I
How
had
is it
to
different?
learn. So in terms of your shutter speed and all of that stuff,
Technical
like
stuff.
the
okay.
technical
Sure.
stuff, it's a bit different. So I learned that, and eventually I made like a travel video of Sydney, and that travel video was like pretty much just kicked things off for me because it got a bit of hits on Facebook, like it
Sure,
got it went a
fraction,
bit
yeah,
like
yeah.
viral.
I thought
Like
you said hit.
like
I was
if I
like,
Yeah,
no
I think
if I'm getting like 100 views a video and then all of a sudden it gets 10,000 views,
Yeah,
that's
okay,
like
that's
a big
decent.
difference, right?
Nice.
And through there, a Pakistani doctor reached out to me, and he wanted to make videos on his website. So that was like my first paying client.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
Uh,
How much was that, if you don't mind disclosing? For
I was charging like $100 a video. It took
that's
me like
nothing, bro.
that's nothing. It was taking me like 4 or 5
First
hours
Okay,
to.
that's
It was,
fine.
but it was
Okay,
my
worked out
first
fine,
client,
yeah.
right? And I didn't have like enough gear
For
for
Pakistani clients,
Things like that.
No,
don't
I thought
expect
he was
more.
like spending maybe weeks, like a 6, 7,
Yeah.
2 or 3 days, whatever.
No, so like one video was $100.
Sure.
So if he makes like 2 videos or 3 videos a week, that's $300 for me.
Sure.
But I was also working at that time like a part-time job.
Sure.
So this was just like something.
This
like
was a
bonus.
passion project.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a passion project, and I was just like collecting a bit of pocket money to buy a new camera. That was the whole
Bro,
idea of it.
can I ask what kind of landscapes are you videoing in Pakistan?
Landscape.
Like the nice like streets, clean streets.
I mean, I did a lot of like beaches because there's a beach in Pakistan. So
Abob beach, bro.
try avoiding the trash in the beach, but
Yeah.
a little bit.
Okay, this
that,
beach-
and
He's
then-
coming from Indian background, so
Yeah,
he comes
yeah,
with
yeah.
that
Oh,
baggage.
yeah, he comes with the banter,
This
doesn't
beach
he?
is notorious for like nighttime people who go there, and there's used syringes lying around.
Yeah,
dirt
yeah.
Yes,
and
bro,
stuff
that
like
was
that.
my memory.
But that's Clifton
Lot of
Beach.
doctors in
That's the
Pakistan.
what
Clifton.
beaches are you talking
There's a
about?
few different beaches. Hog Spit, like Sand Spit. That's
Oh,
a
you're
bit
going
cleaner.
out of the city.
Yeah,
then.
yeah. So Sand Spit's cleaner. Clifton Beach is just like ruthless. It's
I think
dirty.
because most people, when they imagine Karachi and beaches, imagine sea view.
Seaview, yeah. So
And-
Seaview is very filthy, very
Yeah.
dirty. So
Still
I didn't really
is.
go to Seaview that much. Sandspit or even French
But
Beach.
that has its own aesthetic. If you're doing landscape photography over there, it's got its own aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like
and by landscape, I
apocalypse.
just mean like pretty much just anything I can capture. It
Yeah.
would be like literally plants.
How much was
and
it
my
inspired
friends.
by 3 Idiots, bro?
Bro, many.
Actually?
My friends still call me Farhan Qureshi from 3 Idiots because I'm studying engineering as well. And I'm working as a videographer, so I'm
Yeah.
Farhan Qureshi for the group.
So have you had that moment where like you had to make a decision? School
Yeah,
engineering. I'm
Yeah,
focusing on videography.
I've
now.
had that conversation with my dad.
And what did he say?
So he's okay
I put
with
one
me.
AC in your room.
Yeah.
Did he say that?
He's like, I brought you to Australia.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no. Now he's okay with this idea as long as I finish my degree. So
Okay,
I'm
that's fine.
finishing
That's
in like
nice
a
of
few
him, bro.
months now. He's okay with the he sometimes like, oh, you should work as an engineer for a bit and things like that. But I've 90% convinced him that look, if I stop doing my business and then start working as an engineer, it might take a toll on my business and it might slow me down. And I have a
So
feeling.
when did it become like a business for you? How long has
So
that been?
this happened in March 2021.
Fairly
Okay.
recent, then it's not old.
Yeah, no. So
Yeah.
this was 2 months before this 2021 lockdown as well.
What kind of events
Okay.
do you mostly cover? Because
Like right now or before?
generally during, let's say during March 21, would have been.
Oh, so it
COVID
was
time.
pretty much everything that I could find. So it was birthdays, product launches, weddings.
What's the worst thing I can imagine?
What's the worst? Oh, I mean,
any OnlyFans shoots, bro?
no.
You
That's
sure?
done.
Away from haram, bro. Away from haram. But
Talking about weddings, bro.
yeah, we're talking about weddings, bro. But I think one of the most weirdest thing that happened with me at a birthday was it was a first birthday for a child,
So this is
and they had
they got a videographer for their first
yeah,
birthday.
and they had a Mujra person over there, something like that.
This is a Pakistani family.
It was a Fiji Indian family. They had that.
So that was
Fiji Indian
entertainment.
people are
This isn't even the worst part. So like that person's doing their performance on stage.
Are you
The-
recording them right now?
I had
Sorry,
to because I had no other.
what is
But
it?
do you know
What's
what's
a-
Mujra?
No, what's a mudra?
You know what's
Okay.
an item?
Provocative
You know what's an
dance.
item dance?
An item dance.
Like,
Have you seen Bollywood movies?
Have you seen
You
Bollywood
come
movies?
across one. They
Yeah.
always have this one song which is not related
It's very
to the.
seductive. Like the dance is very seductive.
Yeah,
Like,
and
This
they
can
wear-
take that
it's
woman.
like think about belly dancing,
Yeah.
but Indian version. Think of it that way,
Okay.
right?
And this was at a 1-year-old's birthday.
It's at a 1-year-old's birthday, and the worst part is that that person is doing the performance, and the dad of the baby, he steps up on stage and just starts getting like super physical. I'm like, what's going on right
So-
now? I was so confused.
Was it a kid or a
Where was
gents
the
kid or
baby
a
in all this?
lady's kid?
What do you mean?
Was it a boy kid or a girl? Like was it? I
I think it was a boy kid.
See, I think he was getting upbringing, like early induction.
was a
Exposure.
1-year-old
No,
man.
you know, like in the future, like dad shows you when you were little, this is what we exposed you to. So
No, but it's so inappropriate. Like it's not just that.
where was
kid,
the
right?
baby in this situation? Like
Just
was it
on the stage looking at everything, and I'm pretty sure the baby can't understand anything, right? That's just for the entertainment of the adults.
how many
but-
females were present?
A lot. A lot of, and they were all like full vibing with it as well. So I was like, what's going on? And here's the thing, right? It wasn't the 1-year-old wouldn't understand anything, but there were kids like 5-6-year-olds as well at the party.
What were they
they
doing?
would, they were just like running around on stages and
Did
things
they
like that.
explain to you this beforehand?
No,
or-
no.
So you just
Like, how
show
would you
up
explain
No.
it?
and you're like,
Huh.
oh, so how do you want me to set up the lighting?
So
Shine it on the baby?
like when I went to the event, they were
Yeah.
like, so they were like, there's gonna be a performance, right? So when I hear the word performance, I just automatically assume that there's gonna be like a group of people coming in and dancing.
Like it's
So-
a birthday, bro. Like
so,
you
yeah,
imagine
yeah,
a clown
I
show.
would-
Maybe.
Clown, not even clown show. I just expected a bit of dancing from the guests or something like that. Like
Yeah.
you know how you have a choreographed performance, but that happened, and I was like, what's going on? How do
If you
I?
knew this prior to the event, how much would you have paid to get in there?
Oh, probably wouldn't take enough.
Bro, Taha
Come on, bro.
says this,
Nah, I'm
bro.
serious. Like it's a bit cringe for me. So
Because it's not something you can share like, oh, I did this at a
yeah. Not just that. It's just I don't see any value out of it. That's
Yeah.
the issue.
Bro, Taha says this, but I bet it's still in his private folder in his drive. You have to edit it and everything, bro.
You know, come over and have a look.
So
No.
when you were editing this, how
So yeah, so the good thing was I didn't have to edit this one because I was working for another
Yeah.
company, so they had their own editors. So
Yeah.
I just gave them the footage and that was it. Like
It's not something you can show off on your
I
portfolio
can't
either.
at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of it at all. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's yeah, that
okay,
was-
so other requests that come through, you're like, you always compare it to that. It's like, it's not as bad as that always.
yeah,
So like,
now no,
so
100%.
it always works out for
Look,
you.
here's the thing, right?
This is coming from a guy that's worked at McDonald's, bro.
But bro, the thing is that with weddings generally everything's fine. 99% of weddings are just fine, decent.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's nothing like that happening. There's a few weddings there where belly dancers have come through as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That have been awkward.
Pakistani,
well.
Indian or
Pakistani, yeah.
Damn.
Because if it was an Arab wedding, makes sense because it's part of like kind of their culture. But it feels a bit weird for
You're saying
Pakistani.
Pakistani men can't have fun, bro?
They can have fun, and is this wedding the place for a belly dancer?
No, agreed.
It's
Yeah,
a bit like
too sus.
it's a bit questionable in my opinion.
It's a bit
so-
sus when you pan and it's like a belly dancer. In the
Yeah.
background, you see like hijabi women sitting, and it's like, what?
No, but you
What is
can't-
this
as a guy, you
juxtaposition
can't
going
even
on,
look
bro?
at them, bro. Because if you look at them, you're a perv. Like, how does it work
Look, so
out? Like, what's
the way they worked out was that they were like, if you're not comfortable being in the room, you can leave right now
Okay.
for like 30 minutes.
Okay, so they
lot
gave
of
a
people-
disclaimer,
They
bro.
did give a disclaimer.
I find that a bit weird already, though. Like, if
Like,
you
they
know
acknowledge
people are
this
going to
is-
be uncomfortable, then why
Yeah.
are you bringing like belly dancers in?
Yeah, and like, cause
I
I
think they're creating diversity
So the
and job
way-
opportunity for everyone, bro. You are just a hater.
And I
bro.
was-
So when it comes to like wedding events, that's
Yeah.
your majority of your work now. Like
now, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I try focusing more on
Desi
weddings.
weddings or like anything.
Any.
Okay,
Yeah.
so talking about the previous topic,
Yeah.
Fijian Indian. Have you
Yeah.
done many of their
Yeah,
weddings?
I actually went to Fiji to cover a Fiji Indian wedding.
That's sick,
Bro,
bro.
They flew you out?
Did they pay for your-
Yeah, everything. Yeah, so they flew
Bro,
me
we
out.
should become videographers.
Yeah.
Bro. Screw this
Come through,
podcast.
man. Need people in my team.
How long
Yeah.
did you end up staying for?
A week.
Wow.
So
bro.
that was an amazing experience because
Yeah.
they flew us out. So
Us out, so it was a whole team.
So me and the photographer. So the way I work with my photographer is that he has a separate brand, but since he just does photography and I do videography, we've
Mhm.
partnered together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if someone wants like a package, we're always like working together.
So you'll
Right.
provide a combined service.
Yeah,
Sure.
pretty much. It's easier for the client, I guess, that they're reaching out to one vendor compared
Yeah.
to two. So the way there would be one contract, one deposit, one invoice, things like that, but two separate businesses. So he would be able to market everything the way I'm marketing.
yeah.
But anyway, coming back to Fiji, so we flew out. The wedding was in Suva,
Mhm.
which is the capital city. So we
Mm.
stayed in Suva for five days. The wedding was just one day. The rest of the days we were just chilling at their house because they had a granny flat in their house and they
Mhm.
gave that to us.
Okay.
Just because it was saving them a bit of money too.
Are
Yeah.
they from
Yeah.
Australia or are they
So
from?
the bride was they both have Fijian background.
But they were from.
Bride's from Australia. She was born and brought up here. The guy is from Fiji.
Sure, sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is it not awkward though, living in a granny? Like, did they
No,
come and
what-
bring you food and shit?
Yes,
or-
no, so they didn't bring us. They were like, just come over anytime you want. And we did that. So we would wake up at like 10, 11 a.m. in the morning, go inside. They'll make us like fresh breakfast right there. And they treat us like family.
Bro, I can't imagine any
Wow.
Pakistani being this generous to a videographer. They treat videographers like second class
but
citizens.
I disagree though. Like I've seen majority of the Pakistanis that I've had over here,
Whereas there's
especially
people we know
especially with food serving, they're always like on top
No, but
of
that's
it.
a given, bro.
but
Not
human
flying out and
decency-
like giving you a
Oh,
granny
that
flat.
that
Yeah.
yeah. I can't say about
Yeah.
that, but yeah. the
So
speech experience was
what
great.
percentage of your weddings are like Pakistani Indian weddings?
Pakistanis is like pretty much most of it.
Yeah.
I'd say 80% at this
And
point.
how would you rate Pakistani versus, let's say, Fijian Indian? Because Fijian Indian birthdays are exciting, bro. I'm guessing what happens at the weddings
I think it
now.
also depends. So in terms of what happens in the event,
Are
pretty
they
much-
similar to us? Or?
so this one thing that I'm talking about that
Wasn't
doesn't
an all
represent
event.
everyone.
It's
It's
not
not
a
normal.
regular
Yeah,
thing.
it's not very normal.
Yeah.
Right.
So they have a bit more dancing and stuff going on compared to Pakistan.
I'm assuming more events to do as well in general.
Not really. Like
They're
it's
same amount?
It's almost the same amount. Yeah.
Right.
Because they have mehendi, they have henna.
No, but if you compare it to like say,
do they have any Fijian aspect like haka or like?
Oh, they have sometimes, not always, but they have a Fijian dance at their
Yeah.
thing. So it's a I don't know what's it called, but it's a traditional
Is it
dance.
like
Right.
the what's the rugby people? Like
Haka.
Haka.
No,
yeah.
no,
that's
no,
not-
haka,
it's not
no,
a
no, no,
haka.
haka.
Fijians are different to
Fiji,
Maoris.
yeah.
Okay.
I think Fijians themselves, they're a bit different to Maoris.
Sure.
Yeah.
I knew
So-
What
that,
about
bro. I
like
was just,
Yeah,
comparing Desi weddings to like white weddings?
Why? Oh, so
have you done any white events?
yeah. I've done a fair few Aussie weddings as well, but there is a big difference
Yeah.
between. So firstly, with our Desi weddings, there's more culture and traditions that happen
Mm-hmm.
throughout the night, and there's so many events. So pretty much a lot of stuff happens.
You have to capture different moments,
Yeah,
like the bride
different-
walking in.
I mean, that's just generic for
Yeah.
every wedding, but in terms of just like, for example, Doodh Pilai Rasam, right? That's a
Yeah.
rasam that happens
Yeah.
for Desis, and
What's
there's you don't know that. So
You had something similar where didn't you have like you had to find the rings in a bowl or something? Wasn't that at your wedding?
No.
Wasn't his wedding that, bro?
He doesn't remember. Bro,
Okay,
I
so-
think Doodh Pilai is where like the bride's sisters or cousins, they bring like a a glass of
Yeah.
milk,
Yeah.
and they ask for money
For
and
each
he,
sip.
for a sip of the milk. If he doesn't pay, he
what if
has
he's
to.
lactose
He
intolerant,
has
bro?
to.
What if he's lactose intolerant?
Bro,
bro?
he's
Eyes on the
he's
spot,
gonna
bro.
die.
But do you know the
I
reason?
can't do
I'm
the
getting
like
some
Do you know the
content at the
reason
wedding.
behind this
then.
Do you know the reason behind this one?
Doodh
What?
Pilai? Doodh
Doodh
Pilai?
Pilai, yeah.
Nah.
No, I have no
I was
idea.
listening to a podcast, so obviously I'm very knowledgeable on this topic.
Okay.
But milk is a big aphrodisiac, apparently.
Okay.
So,
You know what aphrodisiac is?
okay.
Explain aphrodisiac, bro.
Nah, bro, it's big English words for you guys. can-
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Good for
I'm
the
an
libido.
immigrant,
Good
bro.
for the
I'm an
libido.
immigrant.
Good for the libido. So
Oh my
Hagrat,
God.
all that. Yeah.
So if you see Indian shows
Yeah.
before marriage,
Okay, makes sense.
so
makes sense.
I think
yeah.
this is a videography aspect too. In Pakistan, they don't
What,
show.
enter the bride and groom's wedding room?
Nah, so how do they depict sex, bro? Like two flowers meet,
I know.
handshake. So
No, it's- yeah.
and how do they initiate the whole pre-sex events, bro? They like
The milk and all that
they
stuff.
she brings milk last,
yeah.
so, so-
Yeah.
You know what's funny? The room entering thing reminded me. I had an inquiry once, and the dad of the bride, he wanted us to film. Like, you know how after Rukhsati they go to their house, right?
Yeah.
He wanted us to follow them to their room.
without them knowing, or
No. Have them knowing, but
Yeah.
he wanted us to be in that room and take shots in the room as well. And the bride's just looking at us like, nah, don't
Like
do
sitting
that.
on the bed, posing and stuff?
Yeah,
or-
like the guy, like the dad wanted that, but
Yeah.
the bride was like, nah. That's not happening.
What was he expecting?
I don't know what he was expecting, to be honest, but
Because once the
maybe this stuff happened back in the day where like
I've
the
seen photos,
photographer-
bro. Honestly, I've
Yeah.
seen
Maybe-
photos in
Yeah.
Maybe
catalogs.
it's one
Maybe-
of those things where like he gives you like he says, okay, do this, and then when you're there, okay, can you also stay another hour? And then it's like,
Yeah,
can you
could
stay
be.
the whole night and just make sure nothing
Could be. You never know.
You're the chaperone for the
Yeah,
night.
he's like, start living with these guys now as well. Keep
The
making
weirdest thing
content for them
I've
every
seen
day.
is one time we attended a event from the bride side of the family. So we were from the groom side of the family. They invite us in, and there was dispute about the dowry beforehand.
Yeah,
So they wanted to be very upfront about what they are giving away.
right.
So the bride comes out to sit at the stage, and the groom is not at this event. So it's not an event for him.
Okay.
It's just the bride and the groom side of the family.
Yeah.
They just do an event. So they bring out each item they're giving away in dowry, with the price tag on it
No way.
and put it next to her on the stage.
Wow.
So every time the videographer would follow or fridge coming out,
yeah.
puts on stage, 3 guys are carrying it.
Fridge coming in.
Suit. We're gonna give this suit to the groom's father. Bring it
Are
out.
they
Put it
quoting
up
the
on
price to like in auctions or?
Wow. So this is
well, the price tag is just like
when you say
obvious.
dowry. Do you mean Hakmer or do you mean the other dowry?
Hakmer is like
Hakmer is the guy that gives it.
No,
to
I think
the
that's compulsory. So.
Yes.
That's compulsory. Yeah, that's
this
one.
is the
it's
the other one.
along with the girl, we're giving you all of these
Yeah,
things to
yeah,
take her
yeah,
off our
yeah,
hands.
yeah.
Have you
So,
seen anything, any kind of dowry displays?
No, over here.
Never.
No, her. No.
I think that happens in the background. Like even if
It
it's like
does,
a
yeah, yeah.
tradition, like
Is it does it happen in Australia? This thing.
Yeah. I've
I
seen
mean,
it.
you can do it under the table. Who's gonna like? There's no rules about getting married, right? You do it as your tradition says. So
we have someone who's gotten married, bro. Was there
Yeah,
under
there
the
were,
under the
did you
table
get any?
handshakes
Did you
about
get
this?
any?
Nah, not from the bride to
Yeah,
groom.
you had to give, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Now
you-
that's
he told me after the event like he was disappointed. Like he married
yeah.
someone from a doctor's family, bro.
I've that I've seen. One time, there was like a dispute within the wedding, and they were telling the videographer not to film anything,
Oh, okay.
and he just kept filming.
Oh my
everything.
god.
So there's a fight going on
Yeah.
between the girl's mom and the guy's mom, and they just argue, and the guy
Yeah.
just kept recording.
Now, one of
everything.
my videographers was once telling me that he was covering this European event,
yeah.
and they were like heavy on the dance floor and things like that. And on the dance floor, the bride's dad punched the groom. And
For
a
what?
mass
Like out of
I don't know what happened,
Yeah.
but out of something happened. He punches him. There's a huge fight erupts on the dance floor from the guy's side, bride's side.
Yeah.
20 minutes, they're all chasing the videographers to delete the footage and all of that stuff. 25 minutes later, police come in and like things sort out, and they start dancing again, like nothing happened.
What the hell?
was there alcohol involved or no?
Probably would be.
Yeah.
Most likely would
Yeah.
be.
Well, what I find is like we at Desi events in general, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a wedding. We don't make like a appropriate audience. We're
Mhm.
always way too loud. We butt into when we're not meant to butt in.
Yeah.
White weddings, whenever I've attended those, like everyone behaves.
Because this is a big difference between Desi weddings and Aussie weddings, and I'm not trying to say it to sound like
Or
mean
be
to
open, bro.
us,
This is
anyone,
trash talk experience.
but with Desi weddings, every guest wants to make it about themselves. With white weddings, it's for the couple.
Yeah,
It's about the couple. Like
Yeah.
they respect the fact that
Yeah.
it's the couple's day. Let them have a moment.
Yeah.
Let them enjoy. Haven't you seen how many times some random auntie just goes up on the stage while the couple's having a time? They just like randomly go up to the stage and be like, "Oh, can you take a photo of us?"
Yeah.
Like, how many times does this happen?
Yeah.
So,
Not only that, like they argue over like, oh, we weren't given a front row
Yeah,
seat and
yeah,
stuff. Like
yeah.
we were sat in the back.
yeah,
This
things
is
like that.
disrespectful. We've known you for 20 years.
Things like that.
A lot of these arguments
Yeah.
happen
I
as
think
well.
Like-
people improve when they come down to Australia because I've been into many
No.
weddings in
Bro,
Pakistan.
I disagree,
You
man.
haven't attended that many
I
weddings either.
disagree.
It's the same, bro. It
I
continues.
disagree.
At our nikah, we stood outside in the heat for like probably an hour or something with people just walking up. People I've never met before just walking up and taking a picture with both me and
Zara.
Your
my
wife.
Zara, yeah. And I was like I don't like half the people because most of it was Zara's guests. Half
Blame
the
it on
people
them,
had
yeah,
no
bro.
idea. Some of the people she's like, I don't even know. And like all these random people
Yeah.
just walking up, and
Yeah.
some of the people that like we're closest to, we didn't even get a photo.
Yeah,
with.
no,
Like when it comes to speeches,
Yeah.
Desi weddings are the worst to do because no one's listening, bro.
Yeah, no one listens.
You just do it and then
Yeah.
move on, bro.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
no one is listening. At a white wedding, people clap at the
People
appropriate
clap.
times.
They're looking. They're invested in it. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. They're more invested into the fact that it's someone else's day. Let
Yeah.
them have that day.
Yeah.
With Desi weddings,
And I think we
people
have
are
a
like,
thing of just making it bad for the couples too. Have
Yeah.
you noticed it?
yeah, it is.
Like the videos will be just
What do you mean?
like I don't want to name names, but like
Yeah.
they'll be like derogatory, like jokes by parents will be derogatory to.
I mean, you can't hear that thing because mostly like there's music over these videos anyway. So very rarely that you would, and even if there's speeches going on, the audio recorders are connected to the mics and everything. So
Yeah.
you're not gonna hear those things, but it can happen. I'm not saying it can't.
Yeah.
Like for example, we were at a wedding last year, and these guys just didn't care for us that we're there to capture it professionally, and they would just like come in front of our cameras taking shots. Like literally, they're
like, who are these people?
just
These are,
guess,
like,
just guess,
okay.
yeah. Like for example, you see the setup, right? If I see the setup, I would be mindful about the fact that there's filming going on, so I would be either behind it or just like around it.
You
so
guys
I
are
don't
paid
film.
to do this work, bro.
We're being paid to do this thing, and we're paid to do it professionally. There's a reason why we're called professionals, right? There's a reason for that, and they would just like bring.
Gold is strong with this one.
Yeah, they would just bring in their phone in front of the cameras, and I'm like, bro, move, because there's something being recorded. Like I might miss a moment because of that,
Yeah.
because of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then with photography, it doesn't really affect videography that much. But for photography, if there's another flash going on in the event, it might mess up with the photographer's flash, and the pictures might come out very bright. So this one guy was doing that. He had his flash on and everything. So we like respectfully told him to just like not use your flash and just be on the side, because we're trying to like cover this event, take photos for the couple. And the guy just comes up to us and he's like, मैं इनका रिश्तेदार हूँ, आप अपने काम से काम रखें. I'll just translate for you. He's like, I'm a guest of theirs. You do what you're doing. Don't care about it.
No, you keep to your business, bro.
You keep to your business. And this is our business, bro. This is our business. What are you on?
You've been paid by the couple too.
Yeah. And
I think it's an ego thing with us too.
ego, and that wearing a lot of stuff. And so actually me and my photographer have this thing called zero crabs given counter. So every time, so me and my partner, we just have made this imaginary counter, and every time there is a guest that just doesn't care about our equipment, just like steps over it, things like that just like goes into the tally. It's like, and then at the end of the wedding, the most amount of zero crabs given is going to be the worst wedding experience for us.
So you tally this event.
We tally this, yeah.
But you're saying most of your clients are great.
Clients are great.
Yeah.
The guests are different. So clients aren't the guests. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think what we were talking about earlier as well is white people generally have a more like less guests, more cozy, more what's the word, intimate wedding.
Yeah.
Whereas Desi's just invite, friend of friend.
Yeah.
Uncle ages ago, we have to invite him.
Yeah,
and then you get all these random people who aren't as invested.
100%. Yeah.
The white people have like, it's only my family and close.
And
friends.
Their weddings are more expensive too.
Our
weddings are like $70 per person. They're like 180, $200.
But we're having like 5 events.
That is true.
So like,
yeah. And plus, I think what he's saying is like mostly true, because it feels like most of the people there are for the food at times, so they're just waiting to hear that food is ready sound.
I have an Australian friend. He the way he invited friends to his wedding was that he made a list, and then he would like go one by one. He's like, have this person contacted me in the last 5 years? If the answer is no, cross, and that's how he eliminated so many people.
We'll be like 3 people at our
yeah.
We just hang out with each other for the whole year.
Just ask for at a wedding.
Yeah. Makes sense. But
and I think Aussie weddings are a bit more organized with their timings and all of that stuff as well. Like they're very punctual with the way they like small hiccups happen, but they make sure that everything's punctual. And one thing that they really invest on is an MC on their event.
True,
not many people do that, but Australians are like very fussed about having an MC, because the MC is the one that's gonna dictate your night. He's the one that's gonna have control over your guests.
He or she,
sorry, or they, anyone. They have control over how the night is running, how making sure everything's running on time. No one's falling behind and things like that. No one gets
like a separate MC or like
could be anything. Could be both. It could be someone they know, or it could be a separate one as well. But they make sure that whoever it is, it's someone good enough.
I had an MC, bro.
Oh, you had one? Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. See, we're getting out of it. We're learning.
Yeah. Anyway, there are questions that your friends have sent as well. So I'm trying to like weave them in. I'm sorry, apologies to you. We're not going to name you by name, but you know who you are. So your friends have sent questions as well, which is we're very thankful for. One of the ones they sent was, what do your best clients have in common?
I think the best clients have in common is like the ones that trust us for who we are. And that's a big thing. Trust goes a long way. So what it means is that when you're hiring us, you are trusting our capabilities to run the event and film it and photograph it. So you're not always like nagging us about the fact, oh, have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done this? Like you're trusting us, and that means that goes a long way, because we're more relaxed when we're shooting. We're not stressed out about the fact that the bride or the groom is gonna turn into a bridezilla or a groomzilla afterwards or something like that. When they trust us, it just becomes so much more friendly. And the way we shoot mostly is that we meet up with the client before their wedding, just over coffee or something, and just have a chat with them and see how they vibe with us. And the reason for this is that we don't want to make things awkward on the wedding day, where you're meeting someone for the first time and we have a camera right in your face and they're just like, okay, how do I react about this, right? So just
got some fans right now.
What about when it comes to like your equipment? Like you've sort of like reinvested all the money you're making back into
Not
your
all
own
of
equipment?
it, fraction of it here and there. I've majorly invested into my equipment at this point.
Yeah.
I was like doing it for the last 2 years, like slowly and gradually building it.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm very comfortable with the equipment I have, and I just like upgrade it here and there when I need to.
Yeah.
So
Does it take more longer for like the recording everything, or in post work?
I think
Like
post.
post work
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like longer
Because
time period.
recording everything is what, like 8 hours per day. Let's just say there's a reception event, 10,
Yeah.
12 hours at max. But editing takes quite a while.
Why does it take months, 4 months, for example?
So 4 months doesn't really mean that it's just one wedding video that's being edited in that 4 months.
Yeah,
4
that's
months
the
is the
dumbest question I've heard.
no, it's a valid
Yo,
question.
no,
It's
he
a very
doesn't
valid
do any
question.
post-credit
No, it's a
work,
very
bro.
valid question because
Yeah.
I get this a lot as well. So the reason why it takes that long is because there's more events coming up as well. So for example, for me, if I'm shooting your event, I also have other
Inshallah.
events to. If I have other events catering as well, which are like building up. So
You do catering?
Taha taki catering. Nah, but that's the reason. Like, there's so much.
So
like,
how, let's say if you get a video on a Saturday night,
yeah.
can you get it out by Tuesday, Wednesday if you really
Well, it's
needed
not a
to?
podcast,
If you need it, yes,
Hypothetical.
because like you can pay extra and then I can like just prioritize your video over the
So
others.
theoretically, it can be done in
It
just
can.
2
So
days.
I'll be honest, like one video would at max, like in one sitting, take me like 14 or 15 hours to edit in one sitting. But to get those 15 hours is a bit of a challenge given that there's so many shoots and everything going on. Because on the weekends we're shooting, sometimes there's shoots on the weekdays, then there's client meetings, there's admin work, and it's just...
How does it work with your uni right now? Cause
it gets hectic. Like it gets very hectic because uni's on the weekdays. I also have to manage some client meetings on the weekdays.
Gotta prioritize the bread, bro.
I have to, yeah, sometimes.
play
So
cricket.
Bro, you're
that's
studying mechanical
because
engineering,
civil,
engineering.
yeah.
That's even harder.
Yeah, so I actually took the semester off last year. Last
Okay.
semester I took it off
Yeah.
because it was just getting
Yeah.
way too stressful.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'll just like screw
You don't have to
program.
give us a figure, but are you earning enough to say pay off your degree type?
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's the reason why I left my part-time job.
Right.
So when I left my part-time job in 2021 May,
Yeah.
and the reason why I left it at that point was because I was like, if my business is generating enough for me to pay off my fees, which is like the biggest expense I have right now.
You mean uni fees?
You mean because I was a permanent resident at that
Okay,
time,
so
so I
you
had
have
to
to pay
pay.
upfront,
Yeah, I had to
yes,
pay
yeah.
upfront.
International fees,
Yeah, not international. It was
local.
Oh, like-
local, but I still have to
upfront,
pay
you have to pay
upfront.
upfront,
I wasn't getting hex.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I'm getting enough to pay off my fees, I would leave my job happily. And
Yeah.
at one point, like I realized I can.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, a month later, lockdown happened in Sydney. So that's back to basics.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a funny story. But yeah, thankfully, yeah.
So when it comes to like people paying you,
Mm.
do people normally like cheap out, or like they are pretty upfront and they say, okay, this is
Some
what you
do, some do, some
Some do.
haggle, some haggle.
Did
Yeah.
you ever have to get collections through like
Connections.
collections, like
What do you mean?
a
Debt
debt
collectors.
collector or something?
No. There was one client that didn't pay me.
Yeah.
But what happened was that they paid the initial amount, so they wanted just because there's different pricing for if you want to get just a highlight video or if you want to get like a full version, things like that. So they initially just wanted a highlight video. They paid me upfront for it. So I was like, cool, they're trustworthy. And then after the event, they were like, oh, can we also get a full version? We'll pay you this much. And I was like, yeah, cool, let's do that. And since they paid everything upfront before, I just assumed the fact that they would pay the latter part as well. And yeah, I make their video, I give them the USBs as well, everything's done, and they're like, oh, we'll pay you next week. I was like, sick. Next week comes up, I was sending them a reminder. They're like, oh, just wait for another week, our business is a bit slow, things like that. This keeps on dragging for like months.
Wow.
This happened their wedding was in December 2021.
Yeah.
Right now it's March 2023. I still haven't received their
Oh,
Do you know,
shit.
do
Do you
you
still
know where
chase
they
them up?
live?
Nah, it's not worth it, man.
Okay.
We have
Not
4
worth
boys,
it.
bro.
Yeah, nah.
or debt collectors. That
Debt
should be a
collector,
good
nah,
thing,
nah.
bro. We
Don't
just
give
hit
your
them up.
clients ideas, bro.
Yeah. Nah, so now at that time I was just starting out, so I didn't have like proper contracts and stuff placed in.
okay.
Mm.
Now I do. So what I do is like I take a deposit and then I make sure that everything is sorted before I hand over the.
So you got a
thing.
whole ABN and everything.
Oh
from
yeah,
last
that's
time,
been
right?
from the start. That's the thing
Yeah,
from
bro,
the
he's
start.
not a dodgy fella.
Yeah,
Come
no,
on,
no,
man.
nothing on cash, bro. Nothing on cash.
But what's your like future goals now? Do you want to just continue?
Yeah,
as a
hoping.
videographer?
Yeah, as a videographer
He
for
wants
sure.
to get into Bollywood, bro.
Bollywood, nah,
are
nah,
you-
not
are
Bollywood.
you the sole person in your team?
Mainly yes, but I also have videographers that I know,
Yeah.
so I can always rely on them if I
Yeah.
need someone extra.
Do you ever outsource editing?
Outsource editing for my longer versions, not for the highlights, because I like it, I enjoy making. I wouldn't outsource the long version as well. It's just the fact that I have uni and everything, so I just don't get the time to.
Do you still have time to do? What are you looking at me for?
Abob here does editing, bro.
Oh,
If
he
you ever
does. He
need
does. Yeah.
He can edit those videos for you, bro.
Send me your rates, bro. Send me your rates.
Bro, you should just look at the stuff I do on a podcast.
Nah, he's free, bro. He doesn't. He
He's
doesn't
free.
charge
Oh,
anything.
even better.
So when it comes to like like weddings in Australia in general, are there, you just see like a good future for shooting weddings, or like you want to venture out and do focus on other
For
things?
myself or
Yeah.
just wedding industry in Australia?
Wedding industry in Australia.
Wedding industry in Australia is pretty good, pretty booming.
Yeah.
What
So
about you? Like,
for myself, I want to stick to weddings,
Yeah.
and I also want to dive into commercial work, like corporate stuff and things like that. So just maybe have like a branch of my this current business, just going into corporate
because
work.
wouldn't wedding pay you as a certain? Wouldn't be a cap. You can't charge more than, let's say, whatever amount. Would that be a cap?
What do you mean? There's a
If
cap?
he adds other features, then he can start charging more.
I mean, if
Let's say
10 years down the line, I'm not gonna charge what I'm charging right
No,
now, right?
understandable. But like, let's say if we become the best wedding videographer
Yeah,
in our community or whatever,
yeah.
you
Let's
can only
just not
charge
say
a
it
certain.
is facts though.
Sure, of course, of course. Of course, yeah. Unlike some friends that didn't hire you, but
yeah,
let's say if you're the best
yeah.
photographer of weddings, but you
Yeah.
still at a cap for whatever people are willing to pay for a wedding
Mm.
videographer. But if you were to
Market dictates the price. Like,
Honestly, yeah, market dictates, and
because then
I
you'd be
think
making
there's-
money in volume rather than.
the thing is that there's always a bigger fish out there in terms of what they want to spend. So, for example, if I have the budget, I would go all in to spend on my wedding, right?
And what would that?
If I have
bring
like
to a
let's just say
client?
$3 or $4 million to spend on weddings, not just videography but weddings in general, I'm gonna go for like the high ends in the market.
And what would what's the difference? Like, what would you be providing them at that stage that you can't?
At
right
that
now?
stage, I would have more experience with the way I'm working, more experience with the way things.
But the
work,
video
and-
will be video fundamentally.
But it depends
No,
on the
bro,
video
drone
as well,
shots.
right?
Drone
No,
shot.
drone shots are still included, but
okay.
but you would
do
would
drone shots.
yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
So-
You'd see the difference in the style of the video as well. Like it would feel maybe more seamless. It would have a
4K.
better editing.
60 FPS.
That's regular, bro.
You're just throwing out words
Yeah.
now, aren't you?
That's regular, bro. That's like with every wedding now.
no, not 4K. I don't think 4K is a standard.
Bro, I thought all cameras are 4K. The
But-
one you bought showed
yeah,
us that's 4K,
but
right?
there's no reason for me to shoot in 4K because you can't watch in 4K. So what's
True.
the point?
Yeah.
What's the point of me shooting
But
in 4K, having these massive storages, and then
Yeah, 'cause the
spending
files are
time
massive.
making? It's going to take longer to edit
Yeah.
because it's going to take more. It's a bigger file.
Yeah.
So there's no point in my opinion. Like 1080p is still good enough in these. It's maybe in the next 5-6 years, maybe 4K is going to be the thing.
Yeah.
This is why
Well-
I hired someone else, bro. He doesn't do 4K for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's fine, man.
Anyway, when
The
it comes
best
to
allegedly,
That's fine,
bro.
do you still have time to focus on your YouTube things? Or
I
like,
haven't been able to. So I stopped doing YouTube for the last 2 years now. So since the time I started my business, I pretty
Yeah.
much like had a cap.
what do you
on
want to
me.
go back and
I wanna go in for a more like behind the scenes and just like have that as the genre of my YouTube channel. Then let's just
for
random
next
vlogs.
cricket season?
Next.
Taha's just gonna film all of it, bro. Make a whole movie out of it.
You'll need a
Bro,
wicket
if
keeper.
we
then.
had a
What if I have a GoPro?
no,
while
not
wicket
that.
keeping?
If we had a like multiple shots for the final we played,
Yeah,
and that was on video, bro, that would be some next level. movie,
that would
bro.
be yeah.
Catch my sledges, bro. You'll go viral for sure.
Bro, my sledges are better. What do you want about?
Yeah.
Sledges.
It's
You're
gonna
the
go viral
internet.
in India and Pakistan.
Anyway, you guys had any other questions for Taha?
Nah.
Nah.
I had a very nice cringy story.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
Share it, bro.
Bro, this is some next level stuff. So you know the Juda Chupai Rasam, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was
Do
at
you know what he means,
you know what's Juda Chupai?
bro? Please translate. for
Shoe
this
shoe
Oh, the
stealing.
shoe thing.
ignorant
Yeah,
fella, bro.
yeah, yeah.
Sure thing, yeah.
Explain for the
Coconut
audience,
fella
though.
here, man.
Yeah.
Coconut
We
fella.
might have other coconuts.
Yeah. So the bride and groom were on like the sofa kind of things, and the bridesmaids, they come in, steal the shoes. So what the groom does is like, this is his first instinct. He grabs one of the bridesmaids by the neck, pins her down,
What?
pins her down.
Her or him?
Her.
Bridesmaid, not the
Bridesmaid.
bride.
Damn,
So,
bro.
so the
Her.
groom
Groom.
pins down the bridesmaid
Yes,
by
yes.
her neck.
Can you
By her
please
neck.
let us know ethnicity of this person,
I can't.
They have to be
It's-
Paki,
they have
No,
to be
they're
Pakistani.
they're not.
bro? Who does Juta Chupai other than Pakistani?
Desi,
Okay,
but not
so-
Maybe
Pakistani.
married it. Okay.
Indian then. Yeah.
Yeah, not saying anything.
Okay.
But yes, they pin the girl down, and he's like pulling her hair, everything. His knees right on her.
Can you please speak up so
What?
I get this audio?
Oh yeah,
right?
sorry. So he's pulling her hair, his knees on her face, kind of thing.
No
She's
way.
not letting go of the shoe either. Like they're
So
both
it's
like,
still playful right now? Or is it like
bro.
getting into?
Have you
Every-
seen?
Everyone was laughing. So I don't know what was
No.
going on, but I'm pretty sure she would have felt some intense pain.
Yeah.
There's no way like she
But
would have been
no, I
okay.
think it
And
was-
even after that, she was just like brushing off her hair, but her face was completely red.
Red. Yeah.
And you could see that it affected her because imagine a full guy just. And here's the thing, right? The guy's a doctor. The guy's like fully educated, everything.
Australia or no?
Yeah, Australia, yeah.
Maybe it was like
Yeah.
Off the
also
podcast,
inside-
please tell us more.
Man, that was intense.
I don't know why I'm laughing, bro. This is
That's
hilarious.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so what happened like after? Like what?
Was
Nothing. So
everything
like
back to
pretty much
normal?
just like they grab the shoes, run away. That's it. Everything's back to normal,
Bro, I've seen Desi.
I've never heard anything crazier than this.
No, I've
bro.
seen Desi wedding
Man.
videos like compilations. You know,
Yeah.
one time we got into a phase of like watching firings and stuff in the air
Yeah.
at wedding. I just went on like a rabbit hole where like you just see grooms losing their cool with the bride, and they just like openly slap the women.
I've seen those. I've seen those.
Yeah.
I've seen those. Yeah, that's pretty messed up. But
And I was like, maybe that happens in like rural parts of the world. where, like-
probably, yeah.
But then you're describing what's
Yeah,
happening
but
in
this
Australia.
happened in Sydney, man, which was crazy. I mean,
there's liability on the what's it called, the place where they're filming, where the wedding is happening as well,
Mhm.
and there's legal issues. So if the event place finds out
Yeah.
that this happened,
yeah.
they can sue the bride and groom for this
Why though?
because there's violence taking place at their.
But the family doesn't count this as violence, so there's no like police involved. There's no charges being pressed.
no, but if you
Like if there was no discontentment, then there's
no,
Yeah.
if there's an
dramas.
argument between a brother and another guy, two brothers at like a McDonald's or like a bar or whatever, if you're fighting at someone else's premises, they can call the police on you.
They can if they can call the police on you, but
They can
once
charge
it
as well, like
happened,
that-
once it happened, they're not gonna look back and be like, oh, now we're gonna sue these
We're
guys.
the party pooper over here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
we do,
I'm just thinking of the legal implications, bro.
Because I didn't believe that this happened at first because I was busy filming.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe something's happening
Yeah.
because I can just see like a small screen, right? I'm like, okay, something's happening. Maybe they're just playing around. And I look back at the footage. I'm like, there's no way this
Is it on
happened
your
right
phone?
now. It's not on my phone, but it's in the link that I sent because I included that in the wedding video.
Yeah. Okay. Let's
yeah,
see this.
yeah. I made sure it is in the
Okay.
wedding. I'll show you after
This
the show.
conversation became
Yeah.
more fun than I expected.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we should attend more weddings, bro.
I've seen
Sounds
like
fun.
proper fireworks happening outside the venues, like illegal fireworks, just like
Yeah. we
setting up.
did this one stupid thing where like all us cousins we attended a wedding, so we got like those foam spray can things.
yeah.
In Pakistan, they're very popular, so
Yeah.
we all bought like 50.
Okay.
And then rather than throwing flowers when
Yeah. Oh, you
petals
did
when
that.
so we decided to do that.
Yeah.
And then we were kids, right? So
Hmm.
we had to aim up at all the adults walking by.
Yeah.
So most of the things we got was like on the women's faces and
Oh
stuff,
my
and ruined all their makeup.
Oh
and
my
stuff.
god.
And there's imagine like 20 kids.
How are you alive right now?
Okay, I was like 14
Oh,
at the
okay.
time.
Oh, 14 as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, and then I was apparently the mastermind behind this idea, right? So we spray it, and like we're spraying. All these women are walking by, all these uncles are walking by. Their suits are ruined because the
Yeah.
foam like leaves like a residue afterwards. They all walk in, they sit down, and there's like a committee happening. All these
Hmm.
parents are discussing
Oh
how
my-
to discipline us, right? And for some reason, I'm appointed as the person to go up and like front for the kids, right?
Oh.
And it's like, oh, you shouldn't have done this. It's like
Are
we
you the
were just-
oldest one among them?
What?
Were you the oldest one? Or?
Sort of, yeah.
Sort
like
of,
in
okay.
my
Maybe
cousin
that's
group,
why,
I'm,
maybe
like,
that's
was the older side. So all our older cousins are like giving us high fives, like, bro, good on you and stuff like that. Weddings suck normally. You added entertainment, and the parents are just like, we're gonna discipline you later. Let's just
Oh my
enjoy this.
God.
All these women are sitting in the back trying to get foam out of their hair and stuff. Bro, we got into so much trouble, and then it's like, next event, you
You're
guys
not
are not
coming, oh
allowed
my
to
God.
stand up in line,
Was
and then
it-
we had to just sit at the back.
Was
and
there
just,
any
like,
videos or anything from this event or?
Bro, this is so long ago.
Oh,
We didn't
you
have
don't know,
cameras
yeah,
like
yeah,
filming
yeah.
all of this, but I wish we had it.
Yeah. From a client's perspective, when you're like seeing someone shooting you, how does it feel like? Because I'm always behind the camera, so I have no idea how it looks like when
Do
you're
you even
being
notice it?
Yeah, I don't think I really noticed it.
Yeah?
I'm kind
He's
of,
not camera
Yeah,
shy.
I'm kind of in the moment. I'm not
Yeah.
really focusing.
Just good.
Yeah, I didn't really notice it at all, bro. Like, except maybe on like the dance floor where it's a bit more casual and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And then you see like people starting to come around and video because they're a bit more interactive as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
What about
Otherwise
the
in
photography? That your wife says she had fun, like doing all the pre-wedding photography, like bride and groom stuff?
Yeah, photography was fun because the crew was good. They're very like
Unlike
charming and stuff.
Sure.
Unlike some people.
Okay. Okay.
Nah, he doesn't do photography, bro. I can talk as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Nah, they were very like charming.
Yeah.
They obviously had experience, so they're
Yeah.
good with like interacting with clients and stuff,
No,
and they
that's
make good jokes and things like that. So that was very like seamless and easy as well. But it did. I don't know, like there are some cringe shots
Yeah.
that they make you feel comfortable doing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because the thing is, you
They
don't.
make you comfortable or uncomfortable?
No, they make you comfortable.
Because what happens is that there's a few things that you can see from a third person perspective that wouldn't make sense when you're doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then once you see it back, then you're like, okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense now.
Anyway,
Easy peasy.
Taha, thank you for being on. We hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you're in the time frame of like getting married soon and you need a videographer, our man is right here.
Yeah.
We'll catch you in the next one. Peace and bye.